Hey guys, I just wanted to take a minute to go over the process of importing contacts into Aplos, just to record it to show you and give some tips and tricks of the process as well. So first, to get to your contact list, you're going to click into contacts, which you can do from either the accounting side or donor management side. So click contacts and then click contact list. So you'll see I don't have any contacts here. That's why I want to import to get myself set up. So this import process will allow you to import new contacts or update existing contacts. So I'm going to go ahead and import some, and then I will touch on how you can update once you have contacts loaded into Aplos. So I'm going to click this down arrow here for my actions and then click import contacts, which takes me to this page, and we give you a template here that you can use. So you can click here to download it and then format. I have a working list that I'm just going to open and show you what I've got here. So the template from this page is going to look very similar to this. I've added a couple columns right here that are extra for groups, because you can import contacts and also assign them in a group at the same time. So you'll see I've got 4 contacts here that I'm going to import. I have a company and then a couple individuals. So just to go over a few of these columns, or I guess all of these columns, the contact ID, you will only fill this field if you are updating existing contacts. If you're importing new contacts into Aplos, you will want to leave this contact ID field empty, because it needs to contain the contact ID that is automatically generated in Aplos, and it will not be a unique ID that you have carried over from another system or that you want to assign to a contact. So again, this field is will only have data if you're going through the process of updating contacts that already exist in Aplos. So because I'm inserting new contacts, I'm leaving this blank. This type field is going to assign whether the contact is a company or an individual. So here in this case, my first row, I have a company, Aplos Software. If I were to put anything in this this first name or last name field, that can import, but any transactions will be listed to the company name since it is a company type. These are individuals, so I have my first and last name. You can bring in a birthday. You can assign what type of organization it is for a company. You can assign a phone, a secondary phone, or another type of phone. Email addresses, and then assign whether it's an accounting contact here, a donor management contact. They can be both. So these are both. This is just accounting. This is just donor management. As a side note, if you are using donor management, just remember that your price is based on how many donor management contacts you have. So if they do not need to be donor management contacts, you can mark this as leave it blank or mark it as no. And then I have groups for 1099 vendor and donor, and this will assign those groups there. So a couple things here. You'll see on the article that depending on what you have in the headers here for phone or email, that's going to assign that type. So this phone will just be my general home, office will be work, and then iPhone can be mobile, email and home email. So the far left, so I've got 3 options, but the far left will assign as my primary option. So you can have a primary phone, primary email, primary address. So this far left will be my primary, this far left will be my primary, and then address 1, since it's the far left of the 2, will be my primary. I should change this to say address 2. All right, so that is how I will format my file. I'm going to save it Now, to import it, I'm going to click Choose File, choose my file here. You'll see it shows that it's attached right here. I'm going to click Upload File. So this is going to bring it to a pending page. Nothing has been imported to this point. What you have to do next is assign the header for each of these columns. So I don't have anything here, so I'm going to leave this as Do Not Import. This type, I'm going to click the drop down, choose Type, Company Name, going to choose that here, first name, last name. Now these timestamps show, but they won't come in. Birthday, organization type, phone. I'm going to do this. So, okay, sorry, one thing. You have these multiple phones, but for each, you're going to just choose phone number. So there's only one option. Same for email address. And then upon the import, it's going to assign it to home, office, mobile. Oops, missed one. Phone. So now I'm going to do email address. Just choose email. Okay, so now for my address, I'm going to click address 1. You're going to notice now I have address 2 options, but I need to stick with my address 1. So you'll see address 1, address 111, now address 2. So this I'm going to choose on my second address, but keep going with your first. Oops, city, address 1 state, address 1 zip. So as long as you stay within the address 1 for this, this is how the importer will know that these all need to be grouped together. Because if you did like address 1 here and then over here you did your address 1 city, it's going to say 48 West Shaw, city not here instead of city Fresno. So here I'm going to start address 2, address 2 street, address 2 street 2, address 2 city, address 2 state. Oops, I chose 3. Okay, address 2 state, address 2 zip, address 2 country. There we go. Now this is where you're going to assign the type of contact, whether accounting or donor management or both. Those options are at the very bottom, accounting. DM is for donor management. And then here is where I choose my groups. 1099 vendor. I'm going to do member instead of donor because I didn't previously add this one. So these are going to go in my member group. Okay, just a couple things to point out here. So before you import, it's just always good to check your work to make sure that your headers match up. If you have any errors in the email, you're going to get it after you click the import button. So just a couple things to point out here before I do that. If you have more than one email address in one single field, you'll get an error. So if it were like support@aplos.com, Jane@aplos.com, I'm going to throw an error because you can't have 2 email addresses in one field. You can have multiple email addresses, but you just can't have them in one field. If you have any bad characters, it won't let you import either. If you've written anything in here like does not have email, it won't take that either. So this is a little bit more of a strict column, and there are some checks that it goes through during the import process. So if you get an error message that you have invalid email addresses, those will highlight red, and you'll be able to see what those issues are, change them on your import template, and then re-import. And you'll get that after you click the import contacts button. So if you did that, if you did have errors, you'll have to clean up your file and then click this re-import contacts button. That's going to reload the file. You'll have to map things out again and import them. So I'm going to click import contacts. Perfect. So I've got Aplos software, Alex, Jane, Tim. So you'll see I've got my one email address, my email address, my address. We can look at my next contact. Here's email, address. It's all come in the way that I put it on my import template. So one thing here, well, actually moving on to how you would update things. So here's my contact list. To get my contact ID, you can do one of two things. This is the longer way of doing it, but I'll show you. Here in the URL, this is the contact ID for this contact. So you could get it that way, but there's a much easier way to do this. If you export contacts and open that file, you're going to get the contact ID. So if you needed to update any contacts in your file, you're going to take the contact ID that's exported. So Aplos software, here it is here. I'd put the contact ID. Maybe I need to add a different phone number or add another address. As long as that contact ID is there and matches this contact, then when I import, it's going to update anything that I've put on this row for this contact. It's going to insert it onto that contact. So if you don't want to bring in this address again because I've already imported it, then you're going to delete it. So hopefully that makes sense. If not, we have a great customer success team who is willing to help and answer any questions. So that is how you import contacts in Aplos. You can update through the same process, just assign that contact ID on your import file. And that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our team. You can contact us in this little chat bubble, send us a message, or give us a call, or shoot us an email. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day.